This podcast is intended for entertainment purposes only. You must be 18 or older to listen and or subscribe. Anything we say should not be used to diagnose or treat any medical or psychiatric condition. Do not use anything heard on this podcast as a replacement for professional help or an attempt to diagnose yourself or anyone else. We are not licensed professionals. We are not here to treat you. Any similarities to any persons alive or deceased are purely coincidental. We will not be held responsible for any actions taken as a result of anything heard on this platform. Welcome back to the podcast with no name for right now. We'll insert a name. Around the Kinky Campfire. There. That's it. I have with me Dame.
Hello.
And Linux.
Hello.
And I am the Cuddle Gigolo.
Oh, I love it.
That's it.
Okay. Can that be permanent?
Nope.
Did you write it down?
Maybe.
You better have.
That's me, Mr. Cuddle Gigolo. I'm here today.
Gigolo's with a J or a G?
Yes.
So
and
G,
we're
right?
going to...
CG?
That's right. The fancy way, whatever that is. And we're here. We haven't hit our stride yet. So we're doing intros and exits. We're going on the fly and names and everything. I think the other two have pretty much keyed in their name.
We're set.
And as you just heard,
somebody else is working on his identity.
We edited in a working
Nobody
title.
needs to know that.
Yeah, they can know that. So yeah,
you didn't have to tell them that.
We're fresh.
I'll tell them that.
You mean we're fresh?
I am very self-aware. I realize that we're still like doing the little calibrating thing, and we haven't hit our stride yet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Once we hit our stride, then it'll be like, oh, it's not an edited name.
You're owning your shame.
They have an intro song, and they have an intro and an exit.
I'll make an intro song.
Yeah, we can make an intro song. I'll put it in. Put it in the editing thing. Otherwise, I got to pick a random non-copyrighted. Mm-hmm. And then we can have like sponsors and everything.
I want to talk about what we're drinking. Speaking of sponsors, because when we do other videos, we have accidental sponsorship. We've got a nice box wine.
Yeah.
Yes. I just want to say,
very nice.
I want to mark it right now when we actually do our first sponsorship reading, because somebody's going to pay us to do this. I'll be very excited. Just mark it down on this day.
Okay.
Let's say December 1st. Why not?
December 1st.
But it's not.
They don't need to know that.
Oh.
It's soon.
You realize it's going to be like we're going to be freezing on the podcast, but then it'll be like summertime.
Yeah, it's fine. It's not like these topics go away.
Yeah, and at this point, we still don't even know what day it's coming out, so it's an undetermined day that it'll be on a regular basis. But today, what we are going to talk about is knowledge experts. And I want to back it up even more to figure out why y'all are doing this. I know why I'm doing this.
What does that have to do with the knowledge and experts? Why we're doing the podcast?
We're going to work our way up.
Okay.
To that. Why? Because if we're experts, then that's why we do podcasts.
Hey, all right. There's the tie-in. I was wondering where the tie-in was.
See?
Okay.
I like this. I wish I had a picture of y'all faces right now.
Yeah.
Because they
missed the tie-in.
dropped the knowledge in there.
Wow.
This is why I'm over here handling the electronics and stuff.
Because you can't do a tie-in?
No.
Yes.
No. Incorrect. Because I steers the ship. She's Captain Cuddle
Steers
Gigolo.
the ship.
That's my
Captain
name.
Cuddle Gigolo.
Yeah, I steers the ship. So who wants to go first?
Captain. You're
Why-
going first.
why-
I already called it. You're going first.
Why-
Not it. Like
Not-
can't
I'm
figure out my
holding
nose.
my
Nope.
nose.
I already got it. I already
is
got it.
Why am I
philosophical.
doing this?
Yes,
I am
why are
doing
you
this.
staying on this rotating rock and with your feet on the ground?
Why am I doing this
That was
podcast,
lame.
or why am I doing what?
Yes.
Community.
Yes.
You get
Community?
To,
In
you
the
get
lifestyle?
You get to answer all those questions in any order you choose.
In any order that I choose.
Captain
I guess
said.
which one would be most important to you?
Well,
You can omit questions too if you want to.
Yeah, tell them stuff it. Go kick rocks.
is this like that card game where I can play it like Uno? I can play reverse.
No, it's a skip.
Do it.
No, this is a skip. You have an eternal skip.
An
No.
internal
Yeah.
skip.
That
Skip
means
to my
Okay,
loop.
let's
Skip
see.
me in
So, this is so corny. I didn't choose the lifestyle. The lifestyle chose me.
Wow,
Oh,
that
God.
was
Yeah.
lame.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
Oh God, you're gonna have to. Yeah, slow clap for that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so no, I do this because when I didn't do this, I didn't feel like I felt like I was just existing and going through the motions that I was taught to go through instead of ones that felt right for me. So I do that because of that. I am I'm openly part of the community. I try to teach what I know. I learn everything I can from the people I'm around, because when I made decisions not to actively do it, it just felt like I was just going through the paces. You get up, you fix breakfast, you drink coffee, you do laundry, you clean your house, you go to work, you do the groceries, you pay the bills, you watch movies, go on an exciting date to Applebee's, you take a vacation once a year with everybody, and you put up a Christmas tree and you hide Easter eggs.
You hide behind your routine.
Yeah, and so, which there's nothing wrong with any of those things.
That feels like at all.
There's nothing wrong with any of those things. I still love doing all of those things.
If that's all you've got and you're not.
But I like doing them because they're not the only things that define me. And when I found that those were the only things that I used to define me, I was not being honest with myself about who I was.
That's my answer too.
Nope.
Don't even have to say anything.
You can't use that.
Yeah, I can.
Was that it?
Sure. That's, I mean, I'm sure that
That's
could be
the lifestyle
unpacked into a bunch of different things, but I mean, ultimately, I mean, I was raised in a very conservative, simple family.
You were. This is what I was thinking while you were talking.
It wasn't a matter of where are you going for your birthday dinner. It was, what are you going to ask mom to cook for you? Because mom always cooked your favorite meal for your birthday. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a matter of what are we doing for Christmas. You already knew. You get up, you go to this person's house and you do the thing and you eat the same food every year because it's Christmas food. It's when it's cooked. Yeah. It's not a matter of what do you do for Halloween. It's just, what are the kids going to be dressed for this year? You already know what you're doing. You know what you're doing for all of the things. It's not a matter
like the Truman Show. Your life is planned out for you.
It is. Every holiday, you know what you're doing. The only variation might be, what are you cooking different, or what's the one
I'm going to try a new recipe. I'm going to put orange peels in my cranberry sauce. Oh, scandalous.
So
somebody put cinnamon in the spaghetti.
Because that's what I was raised to do. That's what we did as a kid. Mm-hmm. So that was my training. That was my conditioning.
There you go. That was the word I was going to say. That was when you were talking. I was thinking I was living through my conditioning and felt unfulfilled. I was missing half of my life somewhere because I have two parts of my personality, and I would bounce back and forth from one to the other.
And I used to bounce, and I still bounce. Like, it's only been recent that it's been as meshed as it
integrated.
is.
Yeah, me too.
Because I had to keep it separate, because the other side of me that I had to decide whether or not I could allow to exist was taboo. You can lose careers, you can lose family members, there was so much more. I was trained. There was so much more to lose by not being in the middle, that it was never worth it. And so why would I chance losing all of the things I was trained to think that was important and right in this world for what could be was taboo? That's
the ultimate mark of codependency. You're trained to not lose everything else, and what you lose in the process is you.
Mm-hmm. So I tell people, I've been doing this lifestyle for 28 years, something like that. Not consistently, not every day for 28 years. I've ebbed and flowed out of it. Even when I ebbed out, there were still aspects of it that I kept.
Yeah,
like
it never really goes away.
Aspects, like the sex part was still there, because you can find, because it's valid to keep the sex part, because
it's not totally taboo. There's songs about it.
Yeah. But to seek out
Thanks,
lifestyle or to seek out only friends
Ludicrous.
that did it, or to seek out if there is a community, or to even talk to your friends about
That's
it.
what I couldn't do too. Yeah,
You know,
there was
it's-
no way.
it
not
wasn't-
happening.
I had already been trained it wasn't worth it. Because
I
the
had to.
thought of being
I was like, oh, that's another life.
ostracized-
That's my old life. I just push it back, you know.
So
I guess I'm never going to get to do that. Oh well.
Like, okay, I'm gonna do. I'm gonna own it, and I'm gonna do it. And then it would get hard for whatever reason to keep up both sides of me.
To compartmentalize those two.
And so I
You
had
gotta
to go
decompartmentalize
with
it.
my responsibilities before I could go with my wants. My responsibilities were to my children,
Yeah, that's
to making sure that they were, you know, in a stable environment with stable people, living happy, healthy, productive lives, you know, and it had to be about them, which is how I viewed motherhood, is it had to be about them. I still had a part of me, you know, I still had my own thing, but ultimately, if I had to make a choice about something, I chose them. So it wasn't until they got older, more independent, where their life didn't revolve around me as much as it did, because there's a shift with parenthood.
Yes, where they become
where
independent. And you're like,
your life is
good.
all about them. Their life, then when they get to a certain age, becomes like you are the center of their universe. And then you actually start finding a happy middle where your life's all about them and you're still center of their universe, but you can branch out and it's okay. And that's healthy because you ultimately want to raise your kids to be independent.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until they were able to have their own independence and start building their own independent life that it gave me room to rebuild mine.
So that's why you're here now.
So I'm here now because I can. I'm here now because I put in the work. I fulfilled my responsibilities. I have happy, healthy, functioning, you know, kind of well-rounded, you know, adult children who are living their life and doing what they need to do. And I no longer have an excuse not to live mine. Even if it does get scary and even if it does get hard, I don't have them to hide behind anymore.
You started when you were pretty young too, right?
In the lifestyle?
Yeah.
18.
Yeah. So then you just put it on the back burner.
Ebb and flowed.
Ish.
Yeah. The physical part was always there. The sex part.
Mm-hmm.
But the actual power exchanges, the deeper things were always pot shots of time. It could happen for a while and it was person dependent, and it could happen for a while until it didn't. And then it didn't until you found another person that it could happen with, and then it happened for a while till it didn't. It wasn't until about 10 years ago that I was able to actually find communities and socialize with others and make them part of my social circle. Otherwise, the only pot shots that I had was like through dating or, you know.
Oh, I wish.
You know.
I had no kinky partners until I got into the lifestyle. And
Oh,
I've
no,
always
I-
been
yeah.
like this. I've always been like this since I was too young to talk about on this. I've always been this way, and then just always found vanilla partners. And you guys know I'm demisexual, so I don't date a lot, and I have to have like a emotional like dating relationship before I have sex with somebody. So it would get into that point, and then I'm in it for long-term relationships, and I would end up with a partner that didn't have this in them. And I just had a series of partners, as boyfriends, that were always vanilla, and I'm just not.
Yeah.
So eventually, I just got sick of it.
Yeah.
I was just kind of like, I'm missing a whole half of my life here.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm missing half of what I could be experiencing
So
within
what
myself.
ended
and so
up
I went
happening-
hard the other way.
Well, what ended up happening with me is it was a slow transition of my social circle and friends started becoming my chosen family. because they had kids and they were in the same position I was. And it's like we all found each other. We started like, we would have cookouts and our kids would play and we'd go to each other's activities and we'd hang out at each other's houses and do vanilla things. And so it wasn't until like a few years ago when my oldest started learning more about this with me. I'll never forget. She was like, that all makes so much sense now, because she's looking back at the friends that I've had over the last 10 years and she's like, oh, okay, that makes so much more sense, because we knew how to be vanilla friends and kink friends at the same time, because we had the same values with family and with kids and the same all of that. So we were able to do that.
That was before the site?
That was at the beginning of the site. I've got a very low number.
Lifestyle site?
Yeah.
Lifestyle website?
Yes.
Yeah.
But did you find them through the site?
Yes.
Or just, oh, okay.
Yes.
Really?
I found them through the site because I went on the site
goodness.
and was looking at people in my area. And that's how I found one of the communities and a guy, and he was part of that community. And then I realized that the local communities were like an hour either way. There were two from where I lived, but there was like a lot of fucking people in our area. So there was a couple of us. We put an ad out there, and I was like, look, I'm going to be at this coffee shop. You know, who would like to meet up with me? And a couple people showed.
Wow.
And we're the ones, we created the community in our area because we didn't feel like having to drive an hour either way to be a part of one, when we were like, well, if we found each other, what else could we find? Well, and that community is still it's still active.
But I was fortunate for you to find people that were like your same demographic. Locally.
Oh, I'm very fortunate.
My
Absolutely.
Yeah. My experience was a bit different.
Me too.
There's like a 20-year age gap there when I first started. But yeah, I had to find people through the site as well, because I didn't meet kinky people. That was not my culture. It's a completely different culture. So I needed the site to be able to find kinky people. And then I've been hooked ever since.
I was always able to find kinky people, but the site introduced me to community.
Okay. Yeah, all that. So yeah, that was very fortunate you were able to find kinky people. Because partners before then were not into it at all. They were kind of like interested, but it wasn't the same thing. So
I've had Only Vanilla partners before this. So you guys know our mutual friend. I don't have to. Yeah.
I mean, technically, you probably shouldn't.
Why not?
Because that's still kind of a name.
Oh, he's my mutual friend. Our mutual friend. So this is a good story.
We're going to edit that name out.
That's fine. What do we want to call him?
Bear guy.
Bear.
Bear guy.
We'll call him Bear.
Bear
guy.
We'll just call him Bear.
All right, Bear. So we have a mutual friend, Bear. There's going to be a little lag right before this. Mutual friend, Bear. And I knew he was lifestyle. And I had known him for probably 10 years. A little more, by the point where I just messaged and said, I said something, guess what? Or you've been waiting for this or whatever. And he was like, huh? And I was like, I'm in. And he's like, what? He knew immediately what I was talking about because we had talked about it so much. And he knew I was always like this and was just kind of repressed and oppressed and suppressed and whatever. So yeah, I shoved it down until the point where something happened. I don't want to get into it. Something happened and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't not do this anymore. I have to get into this. It's going to drive me insane. I'm missing half of my personality and I need it all. I need to be a complete person with this. This is experience that I want. I want to have these life experiences. These visceral cathartic experiences. I need this for like my body and my mind and my relationships and the person that I am. I was unfulfilled because of my conditioning and I was refusing to live a life of just my conditioning and continue to be half a person, continue to be unfulfilled. I just refused. I was done. That's it. Why am I doing the podcast? we can get into that. Why am I doing the podcast? You're going to answer those questions
We got to
too.
go back around after that. We'll get into that.
All right, you do yours then.
Why
Your
am
turn.
I doing this? So I was always awkward because my friends would like the regular conditioning, and part of my culture, the black culture, is just to go around and you just fucked. That was it. They find that interesting. I never did. Not knowing I was demisexual back then, I just knew that I wanted something more. This stuff was boring. And I came across kinky porn. And I was like, that's it. That's what I want. I was like,
Where
wow.
do I order that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Can Amazon deliver that?
And so as a guy, you have experiences, right? When you lose your virginity and like the first time, regular sex, oral sex is like amazing. And when you watch porn for the first time, it's like, ooh, naked girls. They're on the TV. And then that got boring really quick. And I was like, that's really weird. That really got boring really quick. But everybody else is still talking about it and they get excited about it. And I was like, let me try something different. I don't even know how I saw it. But I had an opportunity to have a choice of like what kind of porn I wanted to get. And for some reason, I don't even remember the first time I did it. It was just, I want the one with the girls with the chains and the leather. So I got them, and it was like, okay, porn. It was, more showy. It wasn't like in there, but they were doing stuff in it, and I was like, this is a feeling.
That's closer.
This is a feeling I've never felt before. And
There's
I
a
was
twinge.
like, yeah.
Okay.
See, for my South Park people, it was like Jimmy had a tingle. Ding-a-ding-a-ding. And it was like, that's a pretty big tingle. And I was like, all right, I think I'm...
Wow.
I'm like, I think I'm going to go with this. So from that point, I would always, talk to vanilla girls that I would be dating or just hooking up with or whatever.
Good sound effect. Hold on, I have a zipper. That was great. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Anyways, so
You
yeah,
had a tingle.
had a tingle, and I tried to reproduce the tingle, but it wasn't right because I was messing with vanilla girls until I found the site like 5 or 6 years after I lost my virginity. And then I found the site, and they had the community on there, but I was like, I don't know what the community is. Who are these people? They're in a different demographic than I am. Usually, most of the time, it's like 10 or 20 year age difference. And they were married, most of them. So it wasn't a lot of single people my age. So I went to the events, and I still had a connection with these people, even though they aren't the type of people I would normally hang out with. Put them phones on non-vibrate there, people.
Mine's not on vibrate.
Anyways, so I went to the events, and I went to the munches, and the people had the same backgrounds as I did, even though they're in a different place in their life than I was. And I was like, all right, I feel like I belong with these people. I don't, know these people, but there's a connection we have. And they're doing stuff that I would like to do eventually. They have the experience I want. They have the knowledge. They have the toys. And they have partners that do this stuff with them. So I'm like, wow. And then there was this one expert guy that was doing a presentation, and he told his backstory. And I was like, I feel the same way. Sir, that's in your 40s and I'm in my late 20s. I completely relate to you, even though we have nothing else in common. But the way you were when you were a kid is the same way I was. It's making more sense now. So it was like that aha moment you have in your life. It's like the light bulb went off above your head. So that was like one of many after I came into the lifestyle. And then once I learned about toys and rope and everything, I had more aha moments of like, girls like this stuff. They want you to do that.
I used to go to the hardware store in high school.
You're a weirdo. Okay.
Wow, no.
Wow.
I used to try to
Super
tie
judgy guy.
I used to
right
try
here.
to tie myself to my
Yes.
bed.
Can I finish my story?
Yeah.
Okay. So I had a experience like that, and then many more, and then I found my first like long-term partner. That was actually my first longest relationship. Was my first kinky relationship. So after that, getting more experience, I'm like, yep. This is where I'm supposed to be, and I never looked back then. And then like the old friends I have, you're speaking of like community, they still do the same thing to this day. Like, that was like 15 years ago or whatever, and they're still doing the same old thing. And it's like, yeah,
Your vanilla friends?
Yeah. And then I made like geeky friends during that time, but they're just not into the kink. So it's like we don't have that connection. There's no community.
Right.
But then finding like kinky friends and lifestyle friends is like we have more of a community type thing.
It's weird. They miss out. The vanilla friends that you kind of leave behind are missing out on personal growth. So there's some kind of relation to me where
they're
kink
stuck in
community and personal growth with vanilla life and personal growth. Like unless you have some kind of weird epiphany, it seems like they don't move along.
Well, it's something in the kinky lifestyle too, where you break away from your conditioning. I feel like because it's so taboo, you break your mind, and then you continue to do that over and over again because you realize how good it is.
It's addictive.
Yeah, and then you start evolving because what we do, it could be deemed unsafe. So it's like,
well, then let me ask you this. Are you doing it because, like, you're talking about how you have to keep breaking your mind because, and how addictive it is.
Right.
So are you addicted to the new energy that you feel by every new thing that you do, and you're in it because you like the energy of breaking your mind and constantly learning something new, or do you like it because of what it is?
Yes.
I'm the second one. I'm not in it to
I am both, because when I learned that women like this stuff and have that stuff do that to them, I'll just say women because I'm cisgendered heterosexual male. I found that women like this and you don't have to do anything sexual. That completely broke my mind because when I was growing up, mom was like, you don't ever hit a girl. You pull out the chair for them. Girls are sugar and spice and everything nice, and you don't do anything to them.
Also smack me in the face.
Yeah, that
Not me on that.
Like, as a guy, as a minority male, you are raised to control your feelings and compartmentalize. You don't show your emotions because that can be taken by somebody and used against you. So any show of emotion or any physical dominance type thing as a larger black male, you're not supposed to do that.
No, it's shown as it's seen as aggression.
Yes. So when I came into the lifestyle,
it's dangerous for you to do that.
After breaking my mind about sex, because I was also raised religious and I had very much guilt when I was first having sex. That's that good old Catholic Christian guilt. Mm-hmm. I got over that, and then I come into the lifestyle like, girls want me to hit them? They're actually asking me to hit them. I would feel guilt after playing because of how I was raised. So all these things breaking my mind constantly over and over again that I wasn't getting in regular life until I became officially geeky. And this is another reason why I also play board games too, because that happens with me all the time because I'm always learning something new. So to answer your question, it's actually both. I do it to learn something and because I do enjoy breaking my mind.
But no, my question wasn't, do you do it to learn something? Is like, you know how when you get in a new dynamic or a new relationship for a little bit of time, you have that
new
NRE,
relationship energy,
right?
Yeah.
So do you do it because you get a form of NRE with every new thing you learn and you're addicted to constantly having the NRE?
Yes.
Or do you do it because you like what you're learning and what it does to your life?
Yes.
I have something different. I'm addicted to knowing more about myself. So the NRE that I've got.
Hold on a second. Did she ask you that question? She asked me that question.
I don't know.
She asked me that question.
Okay.
Let me answer the question.
You just did.
No, I didn't.
Oh.
She said I didn't. I got to answer the question. So, to answer your question,
You said yes.
it's
I heard
both.
yes.
Yeah. But I didn't explain why.
An explanation. Yes, both. And now there's more. Okay,
Yes.
there's more. All right.
Well, she didn't like my answer either because I said yes to her or question. So, it's both. I like learning something new because it awakens that part of my mind. I just feel like you should always be evolving because that conditioning where you have the same schedule over again, that's just cruising through life. I don't like that. So when it comes to kink, buying new toys, learning something new with like going to a class, rope class, whatever have you, that helps me. That keeps the NRE going. I'm always learning something new. That's why I always buy a bunch of board games all the time, learning something new. So I go play board games to learn something new. But it's all encompassing. There's no real or. It's actually both.
Okay.
So, yeah. Now you want to answer? You reading your thing now? You want to answer her question that she asked me?
I already did.
That was it?
I think.
Okay.
I'm learning more about myself. The NRE I have is with the new relationship energy. It's the relationship I have with myself. I'm discovering more about me. What a fucking rad ass thing to be exploring yourself. Oh, it's glorious. Anything I can do to learn more about me after suppressing and repressing and oppressing this for so long. Psh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna dive right in.
And for me, I just don't know many monogamous vanilla people that evolve. Like, I don't think I would have learned how polyamorous and demisexual I am had I not been in the lifestyle.
True.
I think I would have just gotten that relationship escalator, just cruised through the rest of my life and wanted to kill myself when I was like 45 or whatever.
Off the bridge.
Just that. I know exactly what you're talking about with I hate it. I hate it.
With
I have
what?
friends that do that.
What
she was talking about, like, oh, you're like
Living
Halloween's
your
given,
conditioned life.
that
Christian or Christmas is a given. You just know. My family, I have
alternate whose house you're going to, so it's like, oh, this year's this person, this year's that person.
Like, it's just
the
I
routine
can't
is
understand people that
soul crushing.
They have their identity is their children
it is
or something.
and it isn't.
Routine is good for your mind,
But
and it's got
yes,
stability
it
in
does
family.
have stability
but the
in it.
idea that you must do it, you are expected, and it's
Right.
it's not a choice at that point.
Right.
Ooh, that hurts.
That's what it is. I'm choosing to have my routine of evolving and learning something new on a regular basis.
Yeah, I'll choose where I want to go for Christmas. I'll choose if I want to go do this kink thing or go to this dinner, whatever. You take autonomy. You're literally taking your life back.
Oh, also, I also do it because it puts me out of my comfort zone on a regular basis.
Mine puts me in my comfort zone. I've been out of my comfort zone my entire life. I want to be back in my comfort zone. I want to live in my own skin. I've been living in everybody else's.
That's because you just get to sit there. I have to come up with the scenes and do all the tying and bring the toys.
Wow.
You know how stress-inducing that is?
You just get
I
to
do.
sit there.
Yeah,
I
you
top
just get to sit
also.
there.
Wow, I'm a switch. I top too.
Yeah.
So I know exactly how it
I'm
feels.
not even going to talk about that percentage.
You
but
just
I'm
get to
talking
sit there
about
and look pretty.
Exactly. That's what you get to do.
That's what
Awesome.
that's what I heard.
Yeah.
Was you just get to sit there
Exactly.
and look pretty, and he does all
You
the
know
I
how
just heard I'm pretty then,
stressful
so
it
that's
is to
fine.
come up with stuff that your friends
Yeah.
will find entertaining?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We can talk about the nudity thing, too. Like, oh, God. Nobody should look at me when I'm naked.
Why?
It's horrible.
Why? Look at you.
Yeah.
Why?
Why do you think I drink?
What?
Yeah. This is a work in progress.
Are you? Oh, you're insane.
Why would we not want to look at you naked?
Oh, he's
Nobody
beautiful.
Should,
Oh,
nobody
he's
should look at
beautiful.
me. Gross.
Oh,
I
my
don't want your
God.
compliments.
These people
I don't believe
know.
you. We can get into body dysmorphia stuff. We'll
You just said your name.
edit that out.
Why do you think you picked
Captain-
Gigolo?
Yeah, the
Captain
captain.
Gigolo.
The captain. Yeah, we
No,
always
I get
edit something
to
out.
watch you walk around. Oh no, don't even play with me.
Yes.
I get to watch
So-
you walk around every once in a while, and I
Yes.
just sit there like,
When somebody
Can you
told
come
me I
back?
could... When
You
somebody,
drop something.
Yeah.
no.
Throw it across the room.
like-
Can
No.
you get that for me?
come here.
So this is
Bring
why
that thigh
certain
here.
places, like our local watering hole, are very tough with the no. I understand the no alcohol thing, but sometimes it's like it took me like 5 years to build up the courage to actually just like,
Take your shirt off or something.
well, just play in general. It's nerve wracking, especially when somebody invites you to the party. You're supposed to do sexual stuff. We can't have alcohol there.
No, you could.
No,
Just not till after you were done.
no, I don't want to hear it. Anyways, you gonna say why?
I already did.
That was it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that was right. That was
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
that was it.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're,
All right.
the
back
two of
around.
us are pretty sure we answered.
Back around. I mean,
Okay.
you can. I figured, if you want to add something else in there, why do you want to do the podcast?
Because I feel like any other platform that I have is
Restricted? No.
Yeah. Not just restricted, but
I'm going to toss a thought out. It's owned by somebody else. It
Yeah.
feels like it's somebody else's, and it's
That's not true. You can write a
mine.
blog.
Yeah, but
I don't
this is-
write.
This is a nice opportunity to
yeah. Like I can just
take ownership of your opinion and share it.
Well, it's not even
Yes.
that. Do you feel like you have an opinion that needs to go out there?
I always feel like I have an opinion. I don't think everybody's entitled to it. I think if they choose to listen to my opinion, then that was their choice. But I don't feel that they're entitled to listen to my opinion.
Or required that they have to, or
They
that you
are
wanna
in the
share it to them.
platforms that I am responsible for. They are required to listen,
Right.
Because I'm required to present a certain way
Because it's for other. It's in
for the
representation of
greater
other
good,
people. Right.
For the greater good.
Yeah.
But it doesn't always. I mean, I've told you guys this before.
The views of this
when
person-
I moderate other platforms, I have to do it knowing that I'm representing something beyond me.
Mm-hmm.
So 9 times out of 10, you guys don't even hear me.
No. Yeah. You don't have your own voice in it.
No.
Mm-hmm. I was feeding information because I was figuring you feel the same way I feel about it, which is exactly that.
Yeah.
So this is your way to get your opinion out.
Good, bad, or indifferent. Yes, because this is the only place of ownership. Because even if I went onto the site and wrote my opinion, I'm still associated with other affiliations, and it directly reflects them, whether I want them to or not. That's people's nature. They're going to do that because they associate me with something else. That's how I exist in their mind. So if I write something, I automatically am only one, what's this? Not step, but
One
Degree.
one degree removed.
Yeah, I'm only 1 degree removed from from an association that I inadvertently represent.
Yeah.
So
In their mind.
Right. Oh, absolutely. The mind of the
Because I
lifestyle,
don't
the
represent
community.
anybody
No,
unless
but
I'm
yourself.
in that official capacity.
Yeah.
But even though I'm not in that official capacity, okay, so like for instance, say we go to a local munch, and I sit at a table with a bunch of people who know my affiliations with other entities, right? If I was to sit there and just give this blanket opinion about how, master and slave dynamics are bullshit. They don't really exist. It's just people's way of just trying to control somebody. Like, say I went on this huge rant that would be completely controversial. It would inadvertently directly
reflect upon
my affiliation with
the watering hole or wherever.
With any other thing that I represent.
Yeah.
Okay.
In
Events.
the people's minds that hear me.
That's right.
Where in a platform like this,
Because people's brains are lazy. That's why.
yeah, on a platform like this, nobody knows my affiliation unless I say it.
Right. They can be forced
So
to
my
separate.
opinions can solely be mine, good, bad, or indifferent.
So you using the name Dame, that keeps enough degrees of separation from those entities.
The name doesn't exist on any social platform other than this podcast.
Yep.
Do you think you having more friends listen to the podcast reduces the number of degrees?
Yes.
Same. Yes.
I've been around too long. They've heard me talk for too many years.
Yep.
They know
Right.
who I am.
That's what I'm saying.
This is official recorded opinions at this point if anybody associates it.
That's if they associate it.
That's right. Or if they choose to. How dare
I would
anyone
like
right
to
now?
live. I would like to live ideally and think that people could hold me to my opinions as solely my opinions. But that's ideal.
People's brains are lazy. They want to associate. They like the idea of the gossip of it.
Think
too.
about it this way. Think of the cancel culture going on right now.
Oh,
the
nice.
CEO of a business
God.
does some bullshit that he did not at the company,
20
not
years
on
before,
grounds,
right.
or before he even owned the company. Okay. So because he did that and somebody found evidence of it, within a week, the keyboard warriors are going to boycott the company, put people out of work, jeopardize the lives of families.
Oh, of course, yeah, there's that.
Because this person decided to make a decision 20 years ago that had no bearing on this company at all. But because that's how they know that person. They know that person as the CEO of this company.
Let's say they were lifestyle. Let's say they got outed as lifestyle or something.
Then
That's a
they're
good
going
example.
to take it out on the easiest and only target that they know, which is the company, because the guy is abstract to them. He's not real. He's not tangible enough to them. But not driving to that company and not purchasing that product is tangible.
Yep.
So, yeah.
So if I was sitting at a table at a local munch and giving a very controversial, unpopular opinion or lecture or stating something to be real that
Dame
isn't,
speaks for this event. We're never going to go to this event again.
and then they
Yeah.
know that I'm affiliated with something else, that something else is inadvertently going to suffer because that's the only association they know.
Yep, they have to
and
punish
it's the
something.
only thing tangible to them.
Yep. They got to find something to punish.
We're going to put a pin in this because this has to do with our earlier conversation before we started.
The anonymity conversation?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's what I believe is the more people that know about it, the less degrees you have of separation.
That's correct.
So that's
Yeah,
why
I'm agreeing with you on that.
Yeah, that's why I don't
And
know
then
if
it
I
becomes
wanna,
less about me and more about, did you know that this person who is affiliated with this thing said this thing online about this?
Yeah.
Yep.
This is why I don't know we should like broadcast to our friends so much about what we're doing.
I don't think we should, actually.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, we decided it was a bad idea and the equipment failed because it was stupid.
Exactly. I'm actually surprised any of us talked to anybody about it, that we were going to be doing it.
Well, we kind of did. We discussed it and developed it in
In
a public forum.
That was
Well-
a problem for me. I'm like, that's a bad idea because
Well,
these people are going to want to listen.
Hey, listen, also we were supposed to have rotating people. We didn't know
We were going to have guest appearances.
Yeah, and certain people I didn't realize that they wanted to come every week, so that was a whole different thing. But
He's
anyways,
talking about me.
I
It's
know,
okay.
but I wouldn't have
But-
had guest appearances either because then people start to find out and they're like, I want to be on the podcast. And nope, sorry, you suck.
Yeah, you
Your
have that
opinions are
opinion.
shit.
You have that opinion
I
about
do.
people.
I think people's opinions are shit.
I'm all about dissecting people and figuring out why they doing stuff. So, anyways, that's fine. We can do that.
Start getting shitty people, and then you'll cure yourself of that real quick.
No, you don't know how I interrogate people.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, you don't know how it works. So, why are you doing this? Yeah. and
Oh, the podcast.
You can make faces. I will comment on your faces, and everybody will know your faces.
The podcast.
Yeah. No, why are you on the earth?
You pointed at me. I didn't know it was my.
You
turn.
can answer
I'm
whatever
coloring
question.
over here.
Yeah, you can answer whatever question you want.
I'm
Actually,
playing little over here and coloring my schedule. I have a bullet journal. It's very important to me. Keeps me sane in all this insanity. Why am I doing the podcast? I feel like there isn't enough people knowledge out in the public for people to just listen to. I think the website we all keep talking about has non-expert opinions, and we were talking about people who are experts, people who aren't experts. What does it take to be an expert? You know what? I think I've studied enough. I don't have to call myself an expert, but I know a lot and know about really certain specific topics. And if there is a question about that, I want to be able to answer that from a place of knowledge and not speculation. So the science behind all of this is important to me, and being able to answer people's questions with a researched, logical, scientific perspective is important to me because there's a lot of just wild ass opinions, and I think those can be misconstrued, taken as fact, and it's damaging and it hurts people, and I don't like that. I don't like to see people get hurt. So I guess I do it to protect people. I want people to have some kind of, I don't know, place that they can go, that they can trust, that they're not being manipulated for some nefarious purpose. And I don't trust that site. I don't trust people's opinions on that site, pretty much at all.
Are you going to trust the people that listen to this opinions?
No.
No?
I'm going to trust the listeners' opinions? It depends. Prove to me that you know something. I want credentials. And I can, you can see through bullshit, you know? I can read something and know it's pretty easy to tell when somebody's manipulating you at this point.
I mean, you
if
can do
you've
that on the
studied
site too.
Yeah, if you've studied it long, right? But I feel bad for like new people, young people who can't figure out these couple of words that somebody uses, and you're like, son of a bitch, that gaslighting asshole. Look at the way that they just used these words and left this out. People don't pick that kind of stuff out. When you're young, you're impressionable. Could be making up for all my own. That could be it too. I don't know. I've always liked stuff like this anyway.
So you want to condition the young people's minds?
No, I want to save them like nobody saved me.
You want to save them like nobody saved you?
Yeah. I want to find a way to...
But if you had been saved, would you really be who you are now?
I want to help them learn to protect themselves. That's really it. I don't need to save them because that doesn't work. I'm not always going to be there. I'm not your mother.
Your question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not their mother. I want them to be able to protect themselves. I wish I had somebody who taught me how to protect myself instead of just leaving me out there and being like, oh, you knew better. Should have figured it out or whatever. No, I wish I had somebody like me who was like, hey, I see a problem here. Let me show you what to do about this. And then you're going to learn. And you don't have to learn the hard way.
Or maybe you do have to learn the hard way, just
No,
in
you
a
don't.
more... I disagree.
You can learn by watching other people's difficult examples. You can learn by understanding. Some things you really can't learn unless you go through it.
Exactly.
There are certain abuse
Some
profiles
things have
even
to
you
be
really can't
hard.
learn. Yeah. And they can get to a certain point though and go, "Oh," and then not actually get hurt. Like here's a good example.
Well, just because something's hard doesn't mean somebody's always going to get hurt.
Right.
Something can be hard and it not hurt them.
It can. I've never been sexually assaulted ever. Not really. Not like in penetrative anyway. I have had like kind of tentative, hesitant sexual experiences where I was like, yeah, I don't really know if I want to do this. But was it like actual assault? No, absolutely not. So I didn't have to go through an actual assault to understand what it's like to be like, ooh, I've put myself in a situation and I couldn't get out of this some way, and to feel what manipulation feels like.
No.
I can like, and I'm like, ooh, I have this feeling of I know I don't want to go through that. So I've been through something lighter. Like I know I don't want to go through that. I don't need to learn that lesson. I don't want to learn those lessons. I have like this little barrier of I don't need to go into that.
Wish I had a goddamn camera right now.
Why? What then? Talk.
No,
There are
because you just
lessons to-
equated a woman getting raped to putting herself in a situation to do that. And that's so factually false. Because
yeah.
I have been raped
those
twice,
aren't-
and I did not put myself in either situation in order for that to happen to me.
That's true. That wasn't the association I was trying
So
to make.
that's
Maybe more of like the manipulative tactic of, let's see.
there is never a situation a woman can put herself
There isn't.
in that is going to result in some other person sexually assaulting them.
Yeah.
Because the person that is doing the sexual assault ultimately is making the decision to do it regardless of the situation.
Yeah. Mine were those, like, I still had the opportunity to kind of make my own decision, but under like pretenses. So it was still a little squirrely.
I can't comment. I'm a guy. Guys can't be raped unless they rape.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
He knew.
I need a camera.
He's just messing.
I need
He's
a
just
camera.
messing.
That was great.
He's just messing.
Guys can't be raped unless they really want to.
That's the most extreme example. So I can come up with a different example.
Need a camera. We'll take a picture. That was great. It's perfect. I need a damn camera.
Wow.
One day this is going to be on video.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
That would have been perfect. I'm waiting for these days. You
I wanna-
realize this?
I don't know how. I only come up with like extreme examples of
Or you're
things.
coming in with a different thing. So you're doing this to educate the newbies, the does.
But my argument to
Am
that
I, though?
is you can educate some. There's education out there.
Yeah.
There's more
There's
education
no
out there.
You know what? I know what my answer is. You know how some people go to like people's houses and they probably shouldn't, and we're like, don't go home with people. I didn't get that lesson.
So it's more like life lessons.
It is. It's like life lessons.
Yeah.
Like, oh, don't go home with people you've kind of just met. Oh, okay. I never got that lesson.
Yeah.
It just didn't happen.
They
And
also tell you not to get into a car with strangers, but
Right.
we'll order a Lyft.
Yeah. Oops. I won't take Uber, or I hate taking taxis. I won't do it. I don't have Uber. I don't have Lyft. I don't do it. But for some reason, I trust my friends to be like, oh, yeah, they're a nice guy. And I'm like, oh, okay. You know, and I go to their house. What the fuck am I thinking?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you do that? I purposefully, like, blindly, naively put myself in these positions.
Mm-hmm.
So there are ways that you cannot put yourself in those positions. Assault in an alley or by trusted partners and that kind of stuff. That's a different scenario. I'm talking like, don't go to a guy's house alone. I didn't learn that lesson. I'm like too stupid for that. It didn't happen to me. So I really wish somebody would have just said that, because there are other people we know that that's happened to.
Yeah.
I
They
lured
didn't
her
get
in
the
with
lesson.
chicken wings.
They didn't get the lesson either.
Flats or drumsticks.
Flats. She likes
Flats. I like the flats.
Yeah.
I like flats. Yeah. I didn't get. There are other people who didn't get that lesson either, and nothing. They got a little
Spicy
too
garlic.
close, but nothing happened. You know what I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure. Same thing. I got the exact same, and I was like, we know never to do that again. Yes, aren't we lucky? Yes, we're
Yeah.
lucky. That could have turned sideways, and it didn't. Whew. Would have been nice to get that lesson before it happened.
I get that.
That's what I mean. I don't
Okay.
mean. I mean that could have turned into assault.
Yeah.
It really could have, and it didn't.
Right.
Whew, luck. It's all luck.
So here's my answer.
And we do in that case. Yeah, we don't go. It's not like us not going. You should of course be able to go to a person in the lifestyle's house and not think that that's going to happen. You really should be able to. But people suck and people are assholes, and we're conditioned to be, codependent, and we go and we're
accommodating.
Accommodating. That's what girls are conditioned for this. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, well, if I don't go over there, they're not going to want me as a partner. That is the biggest load of bullshit. Mm-hmm. But we're taught that there's scarcity. Mm-hmm. And I wished people would have taught me the anti-lesson of that.
There's always going to be another scene. There's always going to be another partner.
Exactly.
There's always going to be another toy.
Exactly.
Stop sticking your dick in crazy.
There's always going to be another dick.
Yeah.
Stop
there
sticking
will
your dick
always
in crazy.
be another dick.
That's
Even
right.
if you buy it at a store, there's always going to be another dick.
Exactly. Exactly. And you don't need to go home with randos to find it.
And you can pick what fucking size you want.
Right.
I mean, so
right.
It's not a
And
crapshoot.
consensually. It's not. Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't mean the thing we were talking about before. I mean that kind of specific lesson. I didn't get that lesson.
Okay.
I would like
so
for
I like
people to
both
have
your
that
answers.
lesson.
I'm going to copy both your answers, but I also have to add my own. Like a goddamn Rush Limbaugh this shit. Everybody should be listening to what I fucking say. Because I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm a damn expert at this shit.
Do you feel better now? You got all that out?
I feel better.
Yeah.
Y'all should be listening to this. We're giving you
Did
information.
we need a mop for the floor after
for
that?
free.
I was
That's
looking under the table to
Just
see if we needed a
jacked
mop.
off and shot it up in the air is what I did.
I didn't know why, but now I guess I know
Exploded.
why.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Did some scream shit. Flew across the room with that shit.
What the?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, anyways.
I don't know what's happening right now.
Yeah. Giving my real opinion in this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Education is good. On a very serious note, I need my serious flag. I believe there are like-minded people out there that we can connect to as a community.
Connect to?
Yes.
Like Connect 4?
Yes. Connect 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. They are out there, and I refuse to believe that there's like a minority of us that think the way that we think.
So you're doing this to be a lighthouse?
Yes, a lighthouse
Hoping that
connecting.
other people-
Not hoping. I know they're there. I don't know if they're going to listen to this
Hoping
podcast.
it's a beacon.
No, they're out there, and we're going to connect. This is what we're going to do. Because I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I see that there's a lot of people with similar backgrounds that I have. They just don't know anything. And also, my goal before I die in life is to make kink not a taboo anymore. I don't want to be in the closet. It should be more mainstream. We can do this safely and consensually. It doesn't need to be like a
publicly.
thing. Yeah.
There's national forums that are actively working on changing the laws right now that we could be a part of to do that.
That's fine with the laws too, because I don't know, because it's like a chicken and an egg thing. What do you want, the laws to be the thing, or like societal acceptance to be the thing? Which
I don't
one
think
comes
that
first?
the sheep of society are going to accept anything until a law changes.
You think a law is going to change? Okay. That's
They
fine.
have changed.
I can't. I don't do politics, so I don't even know about that. I'm here for the societal side of it.
Yeah, there's always a little
I
tipping
need
point of-
conditioning to be out there, and I don't need to be like a joke. You know what I'm saying? Your family makes a joke of it. Your friends make a joke of it. It's not funny. Why do fucking people not understand lifestyle means lifestyle? It's not a light switch you can just turn off and on. We should have more representation during like Pride days. That's what I want. I want an own float for the kinky people, the polysexual, the polyamorous, and the demisexuals, and all those people.
So
There's a
create a
minority
float.
of a minority and a minority.
I make floats for parades. I've done that my whole life with my
It
parents.
doesn't have to be a literal
Yeah.
float.
We're
It doesn't
very-
have to be a
Why
literal float.
can't it
crafty.
be a literal
Oh no,
float?
it'll be a float. Are
I'm
you
not-
kidding?
I'm not
Oh
an
no,
arts
we
and
made
crafts.
the United Way hand.
Listen,
the
this-
little man that
this
hangs
is-
from the rainbow was
this is
9
why-
feet tall.
listen,
it was enormous.
This is why I'm doing this, because
We're
my
making a float.
creative side is through my gift of gab. I can talk shit with the best of them. I can't write that fast. It takes too much energy for me to write. That's why talking is easy for me to get out. I actually get energy from talking, and my gift of gab is amazing, and I'm very entertaining.
News to me.
Yeah, I choose my words carefully. I save my
Wow.
energy for stuff like this. But yeah, so
He's
as far as
amped
like,
when this is over.
as
Fucking amped.
So this is like your foreplay.
I guess.
well, I mean,
No, because he's like a
life
different
foreplay.
person after this.
No,
Yeah,
it
it's
just
like
depends
not a thing.
where you get energy from. As a hobby, this is probably the most entertaining hobby for me. More
Yeah.
so than board games, because like board games is fun.
Because learning
Kink
about
is
people's
fun.
rad.
Yeah, but like as far as like a hobby to actually do something, I believe my talking is the thing. So when you talk about like community and stuff, I prefer the chats And I think we have opportunity to give our knowledge out there because there's so many forums to like put your word out there. There's YouTube, Spotify, Twitch, all these streaming things and like stuff to get out there. I feel like we can connect the community with our chats, and there's people that think the way we think.
What's your personal motivation?
And I have y'all here. This is my hobby. I'm not trying to make any money or anything like that. I don't even know how I would feel like if somebody was like going to pay me for this, because I want to do what I want to do. I'm not going to change because somebody's paying me money on a regular basis to do this. My opinion's not going to change. And I'll bring y'all with me when I become rich and famous.
Can I get an amen?
You can ride my coattails.
Look at this. I wish you guys could see this.
You could call me Preacher.
Where's that camera?
Turn the camera, yeah.
Cuddle Gigolo. That's my new name now, Preacher. Preacher Cuddle Gigolo.
That's
and
too much.
Preacher Cuddles.
Preacher Cuddle. Preacher PG. Whatever you want to call it. CDOMMO. All that above, D, itty bitty, abadaba. All the answers to all your questions. So we have about 5 minutes left. I hope that answered the questions there. Anybody else want to say something as we go out? Don't care about money. Ride my coattails. You're welcome.
You trying to cure your own isolation? Are you like projecting that other people need to find us, but really it's you need to find them?
No, they don't need. I don't care if you listen to what I have to say. Mm-hmm. You can choose to click off of this or whatever you want. I'm still going to put this out here as long as I have electricity in my place. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have other psychological opinions about why you're doing this.
Well, don't worry about why I'm doing this. I just told you. So you can psychoanalyze. How about you stick your psychology to the newbies?
Psychoanalyze.
No, you psychoanalyze
your
the
motivations.
Newbies. No, you don't worry about my motivations. I just told you what it was.
I think it hurts to be isolated. So it's reaching out and hoping somebody's out there to grab your hand.
Good. You can project all you want. Mm-hmm. I'm just telling you right now why I'm doing this.
Right.
I am doing this because I have an opinion that needs to be heard. Goddamn Rush Limbaugh this shit.
Okay.
I hear some rants. Okay. Yeah.
Some rants.
And, all right. Anyways, anything else for the last few minutes here at this episode of the No Name podcast?
Nope. Yeah. For the record, not likening assault to no, we don't cause that. That's assault's done by assaulters.
Does Dame agree with that?
Yeah. Assault's done by assaulters, period. Absolutely. My other example was the right that's ridiculous. Was the other example. So take that, just scratch that first example. That's not what I meant. Anyway, for the record.
Oh, I got one last question before we get out of there. Would you all projecting, this is what I'm projecting. Would you all see yourself getting paid to do this? Or is it a hobby?
Hobby.
Just a hobby?
Yeah, it's a hobby.
If somebody paid you to do this, you wouldn't do it?
It would depend on who's paying and why. Are they doing a sponsorship because they just want a platform for their name to go out there? Or are they doing it to grow it? Because if they're doing it to grow it, they have motivation, and motivation comes with expectations. And
that's my
if
problem.
Somebody has an expectation of me as to what has to be done here, then it's no longer a hobby.
Right.
And I'm no better than the talking heads of any other affiliation that I do this for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, money means you start speaking for somebody else.
Exactly.
So, no.
Good. We're in agreement then. I don't know if there's a money amount where I could say, fuck it. This is me.
If there were no expectations and they still gave free reign, then I would say absolutely. Well, I wouldn't turn it down. But if it came with expectations or if it came with qualifiers, then I would just bow out and let you guys have it.
Yep.
Yeah.
You guys nothing, because I would think the same thing.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Even
let him have it.
Even if it was free reign, I don't know if I could put myself out there and be like, hey, Mom, here's my asshole. This is what I've been doing for the last 10, 15 years.
What?
I don't think there's...
What did you just... Hey, Mom, here's my asshole.
You get what I'm saying.
I do.
Porn?
Yeah, okay.
Like doing porn?
Listen, okay. My point is, I don't know if there's a money amount where I could say, fuck it, and put it all out there, and like my family can see my face and everything like that, and my asshole. That's it.
Got it.
That's the thing. That's the joke in porn. Like once you show your
asshole, it's all over.
That's pretty much it. You might as well show everything else.
Yeah.
All right. So we're in agreement on that. Good.
In agreement.
We're in agreement on that. Good.
Jesus.
I believe we could actually get sponsors. I'm not going to change anything for sponsors, but I don't know the the getting paid to do it on a regular basis is kind of like a hypothetical thing. But I want y'all to be on board with the sponsors.
Sponsors are fine.
Because that's what we're going to do.
But sponsorship without control of the message.
That's not going to happen.
No, it doesn't.
I don't like to be controlled.
Well, obviously.
Once I start to feel controlled, I'm out.
That's what I'm saying. That's what we're on board for it. All right. So, how are we going to wrap this up again?
I don't know. Wrap it up.
Introduce yourselves again.
No, I'm not doing that.
Well, I'm the Captain Preacher Cuddle Gigolo.
Yeah.
And this is Dane.
And Linux.
Okay. And I want to say hello.
And goodbye.
And goodbye.
And goodbye.
We'll see you next time on the Around the Kinky Campfire podcast.